Hey, Derek Moretti here, and welcome to the channel that gets you twice as far when you spar. Who writes this? Here's something fun to do with your stick that's all in the hips. For this movement, we'll fire from a low position. The more our hips move with the rest of our body instead of before or after, the more power we can generate. When playing with your stick, it's fun to see where your shots end up landing and with how much force. Anytime you don't have a target in front of you, it's no problem. Did you ever hear that saying, there's no harder target to hit than the air? No? Well, I believe you because I just made that up for this video. But I do find that just swinging my stick through the air is plenty fun. My stick is 1.25 inches thick and about as long as my leg. It's perfect for me because it's strong enough to be used a lot and light enough not to jack my wrists up if I play with it often. If you happen to have a small stick, they can be just as nasty. To get more practice in, I recommend going on walks with your stick. If you stay under control, you won't get arrested for publicly playing with it, and of course you can beat off threats with it. I live in Southwest Florida. There are predators all over the place. And if you happen to have a crooked stick, that's great too. It can be used just the same, and it actually has some gripping advantages, but we'll cover that in the future. Okay, here's another concept that's all in the hips, and it can keep you from getting punched in the face if somebody is sitting on you. Being under the mount, we've already seen how valuable lifting the hips as high as we can off the ground is, and it's the #1 secret to not getting hit when somebody's sitting on you. Two things have to happen. They need to be sitting on your hips, and you have to keep your hips in the air the entire time until you're out. And remember, you can use your knee to help. When their arms are busy saving their face from hitting the ground, obviously they're not hitting you. As your partner tries to touch your face, you'll quickly get used to where to put your arm. The biggest mistake people make when practicing this is they put their hips back down on the ground. When your hips are up, they can only pick one arm off the ground. This makes it easier for us to be one step ahead of them. They'll try to push through, circle around, or back their arm up to punch again. You'll see they'll try to pick their second arm up often, and that helps us because they'll lose their balance even easier. It's instinctual for us to push or to turn over. This is what we must do instead. We can shoot our hips into the air the second they mount us or the second they punch, keeping the hips in the air until we can roll them over. Before we become good at trapping the arms, we might try to roll over too soon and they'll use their hand to stop them from falling. So we can go after their support arm that's stuck on the ground. But when we practice this, we have to be careful with our partner. It's hard to see her wrist, but it could be bent. So when you do this one, you want to make sure that they have a safe wrist position like this before you roll. In a real situation, too bad for them, the broken or sore wrist will be a souvenir. Don't be a little wuss if you get touched. Just know that you're vulnerable in this spot and learn from it. If you'd like more details about not getting hit from any spot you find yourself in, check out the snake charming video in our Hostile to Harmless course on this channel. It's labeled Part 6. Alright, feel free to comment, ask questions, troll, or whatever, but after hitting that thumb and bell first. Cool? And finally, for all you super ninjas in the streets and grandmasters in the sheets, the advanced move of the day is send your wife 3 or so screenshots of suggested Kama Sutra positions from an app, letting her know that she's on your mind now and you'll be on her later. The anticipation will feel good for both of you all day. Or so I've heard. See you in the next one.